I really am curious to be a fly on the wall. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, watching you and Elon talk to each other, because he's even more of a robot than you. He was on the Babylon Bee podcast, and I was honored to be able to be in the room while this was happening. And what the guys at the Bee do at the end of every podcast, they have like 10 questions. I don't think this. Remember, if this was one of those. No, this. And they go to Elon. Would you rather be Batman or Iron Man? You know, because they're both like multi-million industrialists. And Elon, being Elon, is like, well, let's think this through. There's different kinds of bats. You've got, fruit bats, and you got insect bats. Why it's called Batman? Batman can still fly, right? Bats can fly. Iron Man. And I'm just sitting there with, holy dude, just answer the question. Like, it was so literal. I was like, damn.
I guess by this point, I've released a podcast with him. That's several hours, and it's exactly as you would imagine. It's exactly as you would imagine.
There was this.
It's super technical.
The movie Her.
Yes, of course.
So there's that one scene. It's when what is it? Joaquin? Who's the lead character?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, so he's the lead, and he falls in love with Siri, basically, who's played by Scarlett Johansson. And there's another artificial AI that she's talking to. And she's like, "Oh, can I permission to go into nonverbal communication with this professor?" And the guy's like, "Sure." And they just start talking to each other in their robot. And I'm just imagining the two of you having this mind meld.
Well, so there's both the humor of that, but also the practical nature of the kind of conversations we have. It's so great because it's problem solving mode.
Okay,
so
yeah. Okay,
it's so cool.
That is fun. That is exciting
because like you stop completing sentences. I actually feel at home because you don't need to say the full sentences anymore. You could just like say random words and you start to understand what you're talking about, and then you can have multiple conversations at the same time and go on these tangents. One of the biggest problems I have with podcasting, for me, talking, I have to finish my sentences. I have to actually finish making a point, which is a big problem because there's like a listener that needs to hear the point being finished as opposed to completing your sentences inside your own mind. And like the thing I find is useful to Elon does the exact same thing is when the line of thinking is no longer useful, you just switch to the next thing. You just leave that whole thing behind. You don't need a nice transition. You don't need any of that. And also just it's the first principles thing. It's like zooming in on the elephant in the room. I love that. It's so energizing. It's just that's what I love about engineers. It's not the maybe most eloquent communication style, but I love it.